This is the Al-Ma'idah initiative, conversation without compromise.
Kind of going back to the Sunnah though, right? If the information from that comes from, say, YouTube searches, revolving around specific topics, it seems to me that this is the difficulty in confronting issues in a lot of the Muslim world right now, is that you'll have somebody come with a specific idea and they're not able to really clearly articulate, okay, this is why this would be bad from the source materials, but it's going to be, well, all the reputable scholars agree with us and say you're bad. And then Al-Qaeda's or the Muslim Brotherhood scholars will say, no. Your scholars are compromised. Our scholars are the ones that have a true interpretation of this, and this is the correct way to interpret the Sunnah. And so it ends up being about power more than persuasion, because it's basically my scholars versus your scholars, and you're basically choosing which scholars you find more compelling.
That can be happening only because of the power and how these organizations get into the power, or how they got influenced. You can influence people in a bad way, you can influence people in a good way. Islam teaches people to influence people in a good way, in every way possible. Islam doesn't believe in violence. Islam doesn't believe in the way Islam is presented these days in the seminar, in the TV shows, in debates, in anything. Islam is a peaceful religious community.
And that stream has always been there. But again, when you say Islam is this, Islam is that, ultimately what you're appealing...
You're going back to the heritage time. But going back to the principles of Islam. When you study them, you find it, okay, Islam does that things in a way. And it cannot be violent.
But again, right, when you're talking about the time of its origin, you're ultimately talking about the records we have of it in the Sunnah. Mm-hmm. And some Sunnah are absolutely going to agree with what you say, and other hadith are going to have a different interpretation as well. There have always been voices for peace and voices for less than peace as well, and you require scholarship to be able to navigate in through saying, no, we don't think this is reliable, you're missing the context here, therefore this is an evil thing to do, which many people do. Let's be clear about that.
You have to have an idea that it's okay. The Quran itself, Quran is from the God, and it came to us through the Prophet, and the Hadith is the thought process of an Islamic scholar about the lifestyle of Islam, or maybe the prophets, maybe the Prophet, and that's a different interpretation. And Islam never voids all the books. Islam is wonderful in a sense that they accepted the differences, the way the Islamic scholars interpret it in a different way. Probably the way that your hadith is explained in Sahih Bukhari, it's different in Tirmidhi, or different, maybe, but there is always the similarities. The question is, we're thinking about the differences, but we are mostly not spending our time to find out that what are the similarities between the books. And that's even one of the solutions, that you can interpret between the books to come up with a mutual idea, to come up with the mutual things. Okay, let's say you select 6 people from the 6 different books, and you let them interpret with each other. They will not prove each other wrong. They will not do it, because they have the belief system that's okay, this is fine, this is cool. But they will come up with a mutual idea. Okay, we're interpreting with Prophet's life, we're interpreting with Islamic life, and that's way bigger picture. In a bigger picture, you have to portray like what you're really looking forward to. What is your vision? What is your idea it coming up? What are you generating? And I think if you are focused in that way, your interpretation with things will not be different.